All right. Um, well, there's a lot to say. Um, I don't even know where to start. So I guess I'll start with an apology for not uploading in the entire month of February. Um, I think I should at least try to upload um, one video a month. I think that'd be great. A good start for me. At this point, not even for an audience, but I think just for me. Um, to keep up with the news and keep up with my thoughts. And at least I get to document everything. So, yeah. Um, so this is a little different, but I think I'm able to justify um, you know, my new political ideology. And I know everyone might have different feelings about it, and I think that's okay. Um, so I'll just come out and say it. I am a socialist. Yeah. And it's it's really weird. I never really expected that I would be a socialist. I always thought socialism was too radical. Um, and I never really saw like a need for it. Um, and yeah, well, it was until I read like this story by Now This News um about like how Texans lost their power and everything. Um, well, one of the stores that showed up was I don't remember what store it was, but it was probably like Walmart or something. I don't even know. Um, they lost like they had to throw out all their food because they could not refrigerate anymore due to the loss of power. And a lot of people went to the store to see if they could get any food because they also lost food as well, and there is kind of like a surplus of food somewhere else. So why not get it? People need it, and it's right there. Well, no, they had to throw it out, and cops showed up to make sure they can keep the people away from the food and from the employees throwing it out and whatever. And what does that have to do with socialism and capitalism? Well, capitalism has a profit motive. Capitalism is never going to really think about the needs of the people. I was listening to Michael Brooks, and he had um, what's that one professor's name? Richard Wolff. And he gave like the example of we can live in a system where there's a rich guy with like six kittens and a poor mother with several children, and there's only like a limited amount of milk, and well, we all know it's going to go to the rich guy who has kittens and not go to the mother and her babies. And under like a system like capitalism, that may seem fair, but it never really seems fair to me. Like there's babies, and then there's like kittens, and I value the life of humans over kittens. And I know some people have different feelings about that, but screw it. Like it's a baby, babies. Under socialism, you're able to you know, allocate to people's needs more than their desires. Obviously, feeding a pet is important as well, but I don't consider that to be more important than feeding a child. And, taking sociology at my community college really, you know, it really explained how capitalism works. And, it just got to the point where I decided, I think capitalism is not the system we should be aiming for, um, especially especially due to like globalization and which kind of like undermines Fordism. And if you don't know what Fordism is, it's pretty much just Henry Ford was like this car manufacturer, and you know, he wanted to bring in profit, I believe, and be able to sell as many automobiles as possible. Um, so in order to do that, he raised wages in order for his employees to be able to buy those back, and then it would be a cycle. That's Fordism. But due to globalization and being able to outsource and subcontract, um, it doesn't work like that way anymore. It actually hurts the um, Americans' income, and just provides cheap labor, and it does so much more, or brings so much more in, just for the capitalists on the top. And to me, it doesn't really seem fair that way. And we live in we're pretty much globalized, and I don't think there's a way we can turn back to it unless you're trying to be like North Korea and trying to do like their form of socialism, which I forgot what it's called. I think it's Chum. I forgot what it was called, but it was like one where it's pretty much just self reliance. I don't think self reliance is the goal either. Um, so yeah, I am a socialist now simply because I don't think capitalism really looks um, to allocate to those who are in need. And I think it just has a lot of problems, whether it just monopolizes several industries in the hands of a very wealthy few. Um, I believe that capitalism does not really provide equality of opportunity. And to me, equality of opportunity is very, very essential. Um, I think I might have mentioned this before, but watch Michael Moore's video on just type in like Finland and school Michael Moore's, and he'll come up with this um, like great short documentary showing what like Finland did, and I think what the American school system should do as well. Um, and yeah, I'm not saying that socialism will inherently lead to all these um, great things, but I believe that being able to reform capitalism as much as possible, and you know build a socialist ideology within our culture itself, in order so we don't really have this need for like an authoritarian socialism, would be great, because I definitely do believe in democratic socialism. I definitely do believe that we should have some sort of structure, but we should be able to have all the people participate in elections, and have several elections for that matter. And because I definitely do believe in democracy, I don't believe we're going to be able to achieve socialism by saying we need a revolution and we're just going to hammer it in. I don't think that's going to work, like, at all. Um, because I think it's very easy to have counter-revolutionary people, take charge. And I think, we really have to have it inside of us to do what is right. I don't think we can force it. I think we just have to, like, nudge it in the right direction little by little. And that's just like my idea on how to achieve socialism. And it seems much longer than China's way of achieving socialism, which is pretty much state capitalism. Um, yeah, I know trying to ingrain in the culture might take a much longer time, especially due to like our Cold War rhetorics and propaganda, especially now. Um, but I definitely do believe that we we're gonna. I definitely do believe socialism is inevitable. I definitely believe that we're gonna realize the problems with capitalism, how inconsistent and unstable it is, and how many recessions we have gone into. And I think coronavirus is perfect for accentuating the problems of capitalism. with people not being able to get their health care, people not being able to really, um, what else? Well, I wouldn't say stimulus checks are a part of it, but you can add that. Um, Depends how far we go into socialism. If we reach communism, then there won't be money, but or there won't be any. Yeah, it would be a moneyless society. But yeah, I definitely do believe that a social democracy is much better than laissez-faire capitalism, for example. I definitely still do believe that, and I think that's pretty obvious. I definitely believe that um, laissez-faire capitalism is um, a dystopian nightmare, and definitely we don't want that here. And yeah, it's okay to be scared about socialism. I understand. I was scared to like just come out and say it, and I know I have friends who watch this. Well, I only have friends that are my subscribers. My only subscribers are my friends. Um, that have that come from countries that claim to be socialist or communist, and obviously, I do believe that some of their leaders have committed, you know, pretty terrible crimes. Some of them I don't count as socialists at all. Um, I would say modern China is capitalist, and well, I'll say that Mao is socialist, and I definitely believe that his what was it, the well, whatever his plan was called, I forgot what it was. Um, the Great Leap Forward was catastrophic and definitely did a lot of damage. But what I will say is that we are fed too much socialist, um, or we're fed too much um, propaganda that tries to put down socialism, like the Black Book of Communism. That's just propaganda. The other authors in the book also, what they said, a few of them said about the main author and probably one other author of the book, said that they were obsessed with reaching the number of 100 million deaths. Um, and what we didn't know, or what you probably don't know, is that they count the the number of Nazis killed, the number of Nazis killed by communists. I mean, fought, the Soviets fought the Nazis, so yeah, that's a life that they took, but it's not due to an economic system, you know? It's not even due to a political system. That's just it. Now, sure, the Nazis hated communists, so obviously the communists had to fight back. So, sure, in some kind of weird philosophical way, but I would not count that as a death to be counted in the Black Book of Communism. And, it's not like capitalists also killed Nazis. Are we also going to count those deaths in, like, the Black Book of Capitalism, which we don't even have? I wonder if that's actually a book. That would be interesting. If some random person made that book, except it's far less popular. Another way that they found a way to reach the number of 100 million was also by, how I'm not sure how it was exactly, but counting. So like there were a few famines. We obviously know that, and they're pretty catastrophic. So yeah, those deaths do count. What does not count is that the babies that they would have had, not even babies like in in the womb, but like just projected numbers. By killing the people affected by, okay, so with the people dead by the famine, they took those numbers and took whatever like projected numbers of descendants that they would have, and they counted that and said that counts as a death as well, when it clearly does not. All right. So, yeah. Authoritarianism, not cool. I don't support it. I definitely support democracy. And so far, I'll just say that I'm a socialist. Even then, I have not read that much theory. So there's definitely still a lot of work to do on my part. I realize I said definitely a lot today. There's definitely a lot of work to be done on my part to make sure I can provide valid reasons as to why I am a socialist and not a communist or a capitalist. And I definitely have a lot more. I keep saying definitely. There's a lot more work for me to do. And if you have any questions or want me to argue about anything, or you have any video ideas for me, just put them in the comment section down below. And thank you for watching this once again.